What you up to, Brent? I noticed the table's missing.
Another isolation project.
What you showing us today, Brent?
Well, most people have their water filter attached at the spigot. Some people have attached it inside on the wall of their Nautilus system in this area. I found the plastic was a little bit hard to drill through. I didn't want to hit any hoses or connectors or wires on the other side of it. So what I did, took the easy route, mounted it straight into wood, and I will show you how it's done in a little bit. I'll take it all apart and show you how I did it.
We found this little place on online. Might have been Craigslist, could have been Facebook, don't remember. We were thinking Brent wants to put an extension on the island, so we were kind of thinking just, you know, a little slab of wood and attach it to some brackets that Brent picked up on Amazon, and he'd seen this project done by someone else, so I kind of went, ooh, let's do like a live edge. So we found this place, and they have tons of cool live edge lumber. So I'm thinking like the nice rough edge on the edge of the counter, which will be kind of cool, and it'll just fold away. And I found this piece of lumber. I have no use for it, but I thought this was really, really cool. That's the one side. So this is looking like the piece of wood we're going to get.
I believe it's walnut.
And Brent's going to lob off. You want to show?
Well, basically, this end of the island, this is going to be the end of the island. We're going to flip that up.
So this is going to be the piece.
We basically have to trim off about.
So this is going to be the edge that is.
Yes.
Pointing outward.
And we're going to have about 8 or 10 inches chopped right off here, and the end of the island will fit basically in that arc right there. So the railings will connect underneath that. So one other project I've decided on doing is, I've seen a lot of people have extended their island with folding shelves to bring it another foot or foot and a half out, a little bit larger. I've got some 16-inch brackets that I have already installed, and I picked up a nice chunk of maple. It had a nice dark stain on it, but we're not sure what color we're going to go with yet. So that will basically be sitting on the end of the island here on the brackets. So I will have to do a half circle cutout. And then this will basically extend out. Now it won't be quite this far, but probably a good 12 to 13 inches. It'll bring the island out a little bit. When it's all done, and I've got it all lacquered up and looking pretty, I'll show you what it looks like then.
So I had thought, wouldn't it be cool to have like a live edge countertop? All the pieces we looked at, there was none big enough that still had bark on it. We ended up getting this one. It's got a little bit of character on the end. Believe it, probably that color.
The only reason we couldn't have one with bark on it is because once it's fully kiln dried, the bark will not stay on. So it all depends on how much it's dried.
But we could have found one that we could have had dried. Not kiln
yes,
dried.
But that would possibly warp over time, and I'm not willing to go there because then I would have to actually redo it.
Okay, Brent, you're going to show off one of your new additions to the trailer.
Actually, two. My latest one is the island extension. And it can hold, well, the brackets are supposed to be able to hold 145 pounds. I'm not going to test that. But it's good and solid. We've been using it for a few days now, and it's great. Just two little clips on a folding shelf. If you want to come around to this side, I'll show you the bottom side. And right underneath, these are 16-inch folding brackets. The screws in here are number 8s. They're, I think, 1.5 inch. If it starts to get a little shaky, I'll pull them out and throw some number 10s in. But aside from that, it's a pretty solid unit. I like it.
Okay, what else did you add, Brent?
Well, the other little addition I've got, this little shelf, I put it in with a couple of wall plugs, which didn't hold very well because I bumped it with my elbow and one of them popped right out. I've got a couple of 90-degree pieces of wood underneath it, which are just screwed into the top to give it a little bit of stability. But what I have done is I've mounted the two main screws for the shelf with hollow wall anchors, if you can get a close-up of that. They go in, you tighten it up, and then they basically spread out in a little star pattern inside the wall. And then you just pull the screw out, and this is already mounted in the wall. And if your wood is fairly thick, you can get a longer screw, or just use the one that it came with. Put that on, tighten it up, and she's solid now.
Yeah, I hit my elbow on the other day. It didn't feel good.
There is one other modification inside the trailer that I'm doing, but it's not complete yet, and I'll show you that in a little bit.
We seem to be missing something in our trailer. Brent started another project. That's right. Our table's missing. It's outside. So, it's going to be lost without a table. Let's go show you what he's accomplished so far.
Hello!
What you up to, Brent? I noticed the table's missing.
Another isolation project. Well, the dining room table was dark.
Everything is dark.
Our setup was dark. Well, that's the option that somebody wanted, which is fine. I felt it was too dark, and since I just put the addition on the end of the island, I figured I may as well make a matching set and do the table lighter. So it was basically this dark chocolate black almost. I sanded the entire top, and now I'm going to put some gel stain on it and give it about 6 or 8 coats of lacquer. And we should be good to go, and I'll show you when it's all finished. Should be fun.
Let's see what Brent's been up to out here. He's been varnishing and sanding and staining and I don't know. Anyways, let's see what he's been up to. Smells like varnish out here.
Hello?
Hello. It's looking good. I like that way better.
Yeah, this will be the final coat of lacquer.
And then with the original brown around the edge, it looks nice. Brent brought the tabletop back in. I think it looks amazing with the light color on top and keeping the accents, the dark accents on the bottom. He just sanded that puppy down and gave it a light stain so that it matches our new island extension. So we have both of these things. Oh, there's my water bottle. And they're different kinds of wood, so they're a slightly different stain color, and the pattern in the wood is a little bit different. But that's some pretty impressive work. I'm pleased. With all this self-quarantining or self-isolation and not being able to get out and do stuff, there's been a few projects that have been happening. So I'll show you one. What I've been up to is replacing all the curtains instead of the brown that was there before with some nice bright curtains. It's hard to see that corner, but so I replaced all the brown ones and I put some little straps on them. I'm adding some into the bedroom because they didn't have them in the bedroom before. So I'm going to tuck those up under there. Just need some help from Brent to take the valance off and put up the Velcro on the inside. Also, from the leftover material, I made some cushions that I need to stuff. So I've got 3 new pillows. The windows have had a new facelift to brighten them up. And now we're going to brighten up this space by the coffee bar. And then in the very near future, excuse me, Brent, we're going to do behind the stove, the backsplash. Now, we decided to wait on that one because
because there is a recall for a heat shield that is supposed to go behind the convection microwave ovens. And Travelland has ordered the part, so it might be a week or 2 or 4 before it shows up. And when it does show up, service techs will be in and they'll put it in and we will be able to install the backsplash. It's just peel and stick, so it shouldn't be a big job. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't melt. And if it does, well, tile's going back there eventually.
Okay, this is the paper we have chosen. Can you hold it up, Brent? Yep.
Da, 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 da.
So it's just a little brick pattern, just to brighten up the space, get rid of some of the dark brown. I'm really pleased with this pattern. It just brightens up that space so much, and I'm just going to show it to you now. Ta-da! We decided not to film the process just in case it got a little bit complicated, and nobody needs to see that. So that is what we chose for a pattern. It's as close to perfect as we can get it, so we're very, very happy with that. Next spot will be underneath the microwave, and we will hopefully be able to do that sooner than later. And then I'm thinking maybe down the side beside the hutch and across the top, just to brighten things up, because this brownish tan paper that they have on here is just boring and dull, so we need to brighten things up and make it a little bit brighter in here because the wood is so dark anyways. All right.
Okay, there's the filter. This is the main water hose. If you have a nice 2-foot length of hose, you don't need to cut your main hose down. I had an issue with one of the ends being the male end on this being crunched a little bit. So both of these are repairs. So there is no metal in any of these at all. This here is a repair as well. All I've done is taken the 90-degree elbow here, connected on that way, taken this, and it's mounted into the roof with a couple of screws that I put through a hose clamp. And to change it, all I do is slide the filter in, just like that, tighten this hose clamp up, clip on the ends, turn on the water, and we're in business. It's nice and easy. Also, I did take a little clip up here. It's from broom holder, and it's just clipped up to the roof, so it keeps the hose up and out of the way, so we can have this nice and easy for the pass-through. One other modification, or actually 2 other modifications. It's not a major deal, but the power cord reel sure helps in storage. And then also I used some of the broom holders here for all the cranks.
There we go.
Oh, turn the light on. Yes, these cranks were always in the way. Whenever I had to go into one of the storage units, I had to move them out of the way to get at whatever I needed. So now they're completely out of the way. I've used them a couple of times, but now they're out of the way and I don't have to worry about them. I know where they are. Okay, this is another of my modifications that I've done. It's not a huge deal, but it sure helps out with the sewer hose storage. That way you don't have to pack it up in a tub and put it in the back of the truck or anywhere else for that matter. The rig did come with one section of sewer hose storage. It's 62 inches long, which is good enough for one section of the sewer hose. I have 2 hooked up on a regular basis and a third one for backup. What I've done is I've left the third one in the original storage tube, and I did get an extendable tube for underneath the rig as well, so I can put all 3 sections of my sewer hose in. What I've done is, as you can see, The one on the right is the original one that came with the rig, but it was mounted over here. And if you can see just up underneath here, from factory, there is about a 10 or 11 inch extension on the frame, so this will mount nice and easy. And then at the other end of it, it was screwed into the cross members of the frame as well. When I put the new unit in, I had to extend it to just over 81 inches, and that's the max from end to end that you can actually screw into the frame with the end of the sewer hose storage. Halfway down, I had to put a hose clamp up through the underbelly and wrap it around one of the frame rails so it can keep it a little more solid, so it's not flopping around or bouncing around or possibly going down the road. So everything worked out fine. Sure glad there is this extension here. And actually thinking about it, when I did move this original storage unit or storage hose compartment over a little bit, I got it bolted into one end of the frame rail. That happened lickety-split. Couple of pre-drilled holes and it stuck no problem. The other end of the hose, or the I'm getting tongue-tied here. The other end of the storage tube would not mesh up with any part of the frame, so at that end of it I had to put a hose clamp on that and wrap it around a cross member of the frame as well. So hose clamps come in handy, and that is one of my modifications. So this one here will store 20 feet of sewer hose, and the main one, that here, just has my backup. And since I've never used it, I've got a backup fishing rod and a wiener stick in there, but that one locks up nice and easy. This one here, I've got a clamp on it. It's all vented, made by Valterra. Goes anywhere from 50 inches up to 94 inches. So if you want to mount it in a different place, all the power to you. It'll go smaller or larger depending on what you need. One other minor modification that we did on the rig is a keyless entry lock. It comes with a key. You can lock the handle itself or the deadbolt, and you can use a key fob for it or a key. I just use the punch code, and it's so much easier than having to dig out your keys when you get home or if you're just running out for a quick second. And it's nice and easy. All it is, 4 Phillips head screwdrivers, or 4 Phillips head screws. The whole thing comes out. I didn't have to cut anything on the door. The old one popped out. Put this one in, put a battery in it, punched in the new passcode, and we're good.
Hope you have enjoyed all the modifications that we've done in our trailer thus far.
Well, we're going to continue to look for new modifications to do. These are just a lot of basic things. Didn't cost a lot of money, and everything turned out great as far as I'm concerned.
So we'll see you next week.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.
And give us a thumbs up if you liked what you see. Bye.
Bye-bye.
What you showing us today, Brent?
Well, this is one of my first mods that I did. I really like it because it gives us a lot of extra room to get into the pass-through. I mounted the air filter, not fuel filter, the air filter up top here.
The air filter?
Okay, let's start over. Cut. Here we are.
Okay. Okay, go.
I've got.
Okay, cool. I was looking at this piece of wood, which I thought would be really cool for something, but nothing we can use. I was looking at this piece. And flip it over. The underside of that. I know. But that's what I was. Like, you know, you see the bar tops that have this edge. And they're talking like when they put it through the kiln, like do we, that you would look, because you see the bar tops and stuff that have that, and that's,
Well, this is another one of my modifications I've done. It's not a big deal, but it's sure gonna help out in the long run. It's basically the sewer hose storage. I'm gonna start again.
hope you, let's try that again.